Psalm 120, a prayer for deliverance from deceit and conflict. Psalm 120 is the opening song in the collection known as the Songs of Ascents, a series of 15 psalms believed to be sung by pilgrims journeying to Jerusalem for religious festivals. This particular psalm expresses a deep personal lament and a heartfelt plea for relief from the pain caused by deceitful and hostile people. The psalmist begins by recounting a moment of intense distress, turning to the Lord in prayer with the confident assurance that God hears his cry. This opening sets the tone for the psalm as one of both suffering and faith, suffering from the attacks of others, yet faith in God's willingness to listen and respond. The core issue facing the psalmist is the harm inflicted by falsehoods and lies. He asks God to deliver him from lying lips and a deceitful tongue, highlighting the destructive power of words when used to spread dishonesty and slander. The emotional and spiritual toll of such verbal attacks is profound, suggesting that the damage caused by deceit can be as painful as physical harm. The psalmist then speaks directly to the deceitful tongue, posing a rhetorical question about what punishment might be fitting. He answers with a vivid image of sharp arrows and burning coals from the broom tree, symbolizing piercing judgment and intense, lasting punishment. This imagery reflects a belief in divine justice, where those who use words to harm others will face consequences. The psalmist expresses his sense of alienation by lamenting that he dwells in Meshech and among the tents of Kedar, places associated with distant, often hostile peoples. Whether literal or symbolic, these locations convey the feeling of being an outsider surrounded by enemies or those who are spiritually opposed to peace and righteousness. The psalmist's soul has dwelt too long with those who hate peace, emphasizing his exhaustion from living in a contentious and conflict-ridden environment. Despite his own desire for peace, his efforts to communicate and foster harmony are met with hostility, as those around him are for war. This clash between the psalmist's peaceful intentions and the aggression of others underscores the frustration and loneliness of living faithfully in a hostile world. Throughout the psalm, themes of trust in God's attentive care and the longing for peace emerge strongly. The psalmist's cry to God demonstrates that even in the midst of adversity, turning to God remains the ultimate source of hope. The psalm also speaks to the timeless human experience of being wounded by false accusations and living in conflict with those who reject peace. It captures the emotional burden of feeling misunderstood and alienated while holding on to a commitment to peace and truth. In modern application, Psalm 120 resonates with anyone who has faced the sting of slander or betrayal, who has sought to be a peacemaker but encountered resistance, or who has felt isolated in a world often marked by hostility and deception. The psalm encourages believers to be honest in their prayers, to persist in seeking peace, and to trust in God's justice, even when immediate relief seems distant. In doing so, it offers both a voice for lament and a foundation for hope, reminding readers that God hears their cries and will ultimately vindicate the righteous.
Psalm 120, a song of ascents. In my distress I cried to the Lord, and he heard me. Deliver my soul, O Lord, from lying lips and from a deceitful tongue. What shall be given to you, or what shall be done to you, you false tongue? Sharp arrows of the warrior, with coals of the broom tree. Woe is me that I dwell in Meshech, that I dwell among the tents of Kedar. My soul has dwelt too long with one who hates peace. I am for peace, but when I speak, they are for war.